You know, I keep telling myself I'm not going to get any more emotionally invested in this team. I'm checked out, and I'm just here to cover the rest of the games this season and move on and get ready for the offseason. But then you have things that are said, like the one this weekend from Daryl Morey, that just really grind my gears. They really tick me off. And today I'm forced once again to rant about the national media, maybe the local media, Daryl Morey, and whoever else, because for some reason, Sixer fans are getting blamed for this. Unbelievable. We'll get into that, and at the end, we'll look at the updated tanking standings because, believe it or not, the Sixers actually benefited from last night, and they gained some ground. So we'll get into all that, but welcome into Philly Take with RB. Thank you all for continuing to support the channel through this tough season. And ladies and gentlemen, here's a photo that was tweeted at me the other night. Shout out to Ian Copey, who puts this picture on here. I don't know if this was him, but two Sixer fans are showing up to the Sixers game with Tankathon paper bags on their head. I mean, this is how it's been. This is how it has gotten at this point. I mean, nobody's really watching these games, right? Fans are just showing up to have a time and then leave probably halfway through. But that's where we're at, okay? So before we get into this whole mess, and before I school Daryl Morey and the 76ers, ladies and gentlemen, my question for you is, do you think Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse are going to survive the rest of this season and be back next season? Do you think those two individuals will be back? Because honestly, at this point, I wouldn't mind if either were gone, but I do think there's a chance that they will be back. So give me your thoughts on that down below. And before I school this organization, I got to let you guys know about school, man. This one is brought to you by National University. National University is a nonprofit accredited university offering flexible online programs. Maybe you're someone out there who, works a job. Maybe you have a kid to attend to, whatever it is, and you're trying to find a good way, suitable method to go back to school and get an education. Well, with National University, they offer 4 and 8 week online courses that allow you to have that work-life balance and still go back to higher education. They offer 150 degree programs, credentials, and certificates, and they understand when you start or return to higher ed, you have much more responsibility on your plate. So they give you the support in every way to balance your life. They are a veteran-founded university, and National University awarded $50 million plus in scholarships last year. So if you are interested in checking out their flexible curriculum and program offerings, go down to the pinned comment or the description, click the link, and go get more information today. National University, where you can juggle school with everything else life has to offer. And speaking of school, man, I think Daryl Morey and the Sixers executives need to go back and do more schooling. Maybe do a basketball course. I don't know. Because at this point, it is getting out of hand what is being said. All right. And I'm going to start it off here with this quote from Daryl Morey. He attended the Sloan Sports Conference this past weekend. It's some, analytics conference. They talk about sports and everything going on. Daryl Morey loves his analytics. Here's what he had to say about Sixer fans.
We then lost a close game at home, which was very frustrating. And then we had a very bad loss in Game 7. And, it's a little bit similar to the LeBron, Michael Jordan argument. Objectively, people should feel better about that than the next season. We had a very entertaining Knicks series, like almost famously entertaining. I think it was voted best series that year. And for me, it was just stressful, but for everyone else, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was very stressful. And we lost in 6 games, to a Knicks team that was not as good as the Celtics team we lost to the year before. And I was very down after the loss. And I was like, man, people are going to be so angry. And they were angry. Obviously, everyone wants us to win. But they were less angry than the year before. And anger is all that drives Sixers fans, as far as I can tell.
So at the end there, he makes like a little bit of a joke about Sixer fans and their anger. But, when people say things, they mean them. So first, I'm going to tell you about the physical nature of what he said and why it is absolutely ridiculous. And then we'll dive in a bit deeper, okay? But his main point was that Sixer fans were less mad about losing to the Knicks last year than losing to the Celtics the year before. Hey, Daryl, let me break it down for you, okay? The reason Sixer fans were mad about losing to the Celtics was because, again, you were finally there. By the way, this was the second round. Game 6 on your home floor with 4 minutes to go, and you absolutely choked. And then you go out there and deliver one of the worst Game 7 performances in history, and you let Tatum rip you apart, and you gave up. Last year, you were in the first round after you punted the season because Joel Embiid got hurt, and then you forced him to come back for the playoffs, and nobody had any belief in him and his health or the team in general because, again, you punted the season, and we knew we were going to lose to the New York Knicks and would be a first-round exit. So that's really the main thing. Of course, we were sick again about falling just short to the conference finals when we could taste it. So that is just so stupid in itself. I don't know how the LeBron-MJ argument comes into it, but the deeper thing is that Daryl Morey, the GM of the Sixers, who has trolled the fan base many times with his crumble cookie shenanigans and all this other crap, is out here, and a lot of fans, including myself, have defended Daryl Morey and his decisions, but over the last year and a half, he has just become absolutely erroneous. I mean, this is insane. You're mad at Sixer fans for not being as mad last year than the year before? Hey, here's an idea. The whole fan base is checked out. Right now, this year, you're 22-42, and in a season where it really felt like championship or bust, it felt like you're going all in. This team in early March is unwatchable. People tune into the streams to listen to me and hang out with the chat. They don't even watch the games. Nobody's watching the games. Nobody's going to the games. I am so sick and tired of not only the national media, the local media sometimes, but now Daryl Morey blaming Sixer fans. These fans should be pissed. These are the fans that invest their hard-earned dollar, that still go to the games, that pay for tickets, parking, food. They go and buy merchandise while you lie to them the entire season. You could have let Joel get surgery early on, shut it down. We knew the team was going nowhere, but you didn't want to admit that you were wrong. And even a couple weeks ago when the team was so far down under, they were so off the deep end, you're out here trying to sell us false hope, saying, hey, if you squint, we can still win a championship, when we know this team is absolutely busted. And then you have the audacity to call Sixer fans out for being driven by anger. How could we not be angry? These fans have supported an organization that has failed over and over and over and over again. Maybe it wouldn't matter in the damn Midwest or, I don't know, down south or in some isolate state where they don't care, but this is Philadelphia. These people live and die by their sports teams. And when you go out there and act like frauds the entire season to the point where this fan base now, they're not even mad. They're just checked out. They don't care anymore because you gave them so much hope over the years and you failed every single time. So overall, whether it's Daryl Morey or the media, I am so sick and tired of people blaming Sixer fans. There are people blaming Philly fans. What, because we're tough on a player? Hey, you make $50 million a year, you should be able to come out and drop 30 points in a game. Quentin Grimes now has more 30-point games than Paul George in 27 less games. It's unbelievable. The fans should be on your ass. They should be pissed off because you're not doing your job and you've been holding on to contracts too long and you've trolled us and you're not winning anything. And that sucks, man, because I liked Daryl Morey at the beginning, but whether it's him or the very unclear answers from Nick Nurse or Josh Harris doesn't even really watch the team anymore, I'm just sick and tired of it, man. I don't care who stays and goes. I just want this team to be better. That's all we want. Once again, this organization has their focus on the complete wrong subject. And at this point, you are on the verge of losing this fan base. And like I said, man, I'm just tired of it. I just want things to get better. And you're having the type of season you're having, and you really have the audacity to point out Philly fans. You should be looking at yourself, the guy who went into freaking hiding for 4 months. We didn't hear from you. None of your normal radio, press conferences and appearances and all that. You went into hiding because you looked like a fool because you created a cap space plan in the wrong offseason, and you gave all the money to a star who's been hurt 6 times and has not performed. And then you've signed 38-year-olds to surround these guys. Oh, and did I mention Joel Embiid's extension? Yeah, we won't even get into that today. I'm tired of the Philly fans getting the blame. Lastly, the draft simulator. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sixers moved back up. The Raptors won last night. The Nets beat the Lakers. The Hornets won, surprisingly. The Jazz almost even won, and the Sixers lost. So the Sixers gained ground on everybody. They are now a half game behind the Toronto Raptors, and guess who they play tomorrow night? The Toronto Raptors. That is lining up to be the biggest game of the year. The Sixers have to lose that. If so, they jump up in front of the Raptors, and they hold spot in that number 5 slot. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, the tank is back alive. This is how we have to move forward, unfortunately, and we'll see what happens. We'll spin it here, and look at that. The Sixers get the 7 seed. If that happens, I will be absolutely destroyed inside. We'll see what happens, man. Give me your thoughts on Daryl Morey's comments and all that down below. And ladies and gentlemen, don't let this organization push you around. Philly fans, there's a lot of Sixers blood in this city, man. They love this team. They die hard for this team, and they've been embarrassed all year. And, it's time to, shift some things around and get this thing back on track. So we'll see what happens, man, but might have to go. This might be the end for Daryl Morey. We'll see. Give me your thoughts down below. Appreciate y'all, and I will catch you on the next one.